Hello and welcome to another episode of Hearts of Iron with CzarPeppers in my Oh God, I'm Poland series. Now, that's just I always get something stuck in my throat when I'm doing this. It's the whole Poland thing is just a bit of a silly joke. Everybody should know that the bravery and the might of the Polish people during the Second World War should never be neglected and should never be underappreciated because the sacrifices they made during that war are probably greater than a great many of the Allies, especially the fact that in the end the Allies pretty much just betrayed them and let them be sucked up by the Soviet Union. But that's a topic for another time. I mean, they did kind of cooperate with the Nazis to annex parts of Czechoslovakia, but although we shouldn't forget that fact, we should at the same time never forget what they sacrificed. Now that we have that all out of the way, where did we leave last time? Our researching, we've got researching air superiority, electronic mechanical engineering, and mobile warfare in our... And we're currently researching the motorization effort. It is December, almost January of 1936, and we are... What's our army? Still need to work on our division deployment. We haven't managed to come up with any new divisions for deployment yet, and our construction efforts are mainly for civilian factories, which we desperately need so we can construct other things faster. So all in all, we've got about 40 divisions. Our navy is basically non-existent. I don't plan on making a big surface fleet. I mainly going to be making more submarines and destroyers, maybe a few heavy cruisers just to fill out the fleet a little bit, because mainly my goals for my navy are going to be blocking off German supplies from Scandinavia coming in over to Germany by putting lots of subs and stuff in this area. So nothing big. Our Air Force is at the moment quite small. We've got about 162 fighters and 22 close air support aircraft. What kind of aircraft are we using right now? Our fighters seem to be basic interwar fighters. So I do want to upgrade my fighters. And also, in the last episode, the Spanish Civil War has just begun, which I do want to try and send volunteers to. However, I think I need to have a communist government before I can do that, or at least have better relations with the Spanish Republicans. So for the moment, I think we're just going to speed up time until something interesting happens. Okay, we have electrical mechanical engineering done, so we are going to fill that research slot. I think what we're going to do is we could really use faster construction times. So, oh no, we already have those ones. Production speed is... But I think what I'm going to do is... Did we research new fighters? We did, didn't we? If that's the case, then I should... Yeah, we did. Okay. So let's start getting some modern fighters into production. Our tanks... What does our research line look like for armor? Okay, we've got light tanks. I don't think we're going to research heavy tanks right away. What we're going to do is we're going to research motorized divisions. That way, because of my whole thing of having a smaller number of fast divisions that can get to where they're needed quickly, rather than just having a huge line of defense across the Polish border, which will eventually have to be... Man, it's a tricky situation because you got Germans on the west side, and then you have this small German territory to the north, and then Czechoslovakia will end up in German hands, meaning I'll have to defend down there. Not sure if there's a way. Maybe I'll ally with Czechoslovakia. Maybe form a So if, guarantee their independence, so if Germany declares war on Czechoslovakia, I will fight with them. I'm not sure. But for now, let's improve our relations with Czechoslovakia and see what we can do. Sadly, I don't think we'll be able to change ourselves to communists before the Republican Spain fall, so we probably won't be able to get involved in the Spanish Civil War, which is really unfortunate, but hopefully they can hold out a little longer to give me a bit more of a chance. I wonder what if I can, no, I'm not going to do anything with France. Okay, one thing we need to do is get some trading. We need oil and more aluminium. So oil, I think we'll again get from the Soviets, and aluminium we'll get from the US. Fortunately, that ends up using a whole bunch of our civilian factories, which we desperately need for constructing more civilian factories, but we don't really have any choice at the moment. And it looks like oh, okay. That went away. So we're good for materials for now. Alright, we got news. Communists demand referendum. Marxist ideas took root in Poland a long time ago, but have gained much more widespread support lately. The movement has spread outside political theory and into political practice, with disgruntled workers and even some high-profile celebrities voicing support. The communists call this class consciousness. The BBWR call it a fast track to riot and treason. Showing little faith in Ignacy Mulsaki. Yeah, I know I'm butchering it. Commenter for last time, but that's what you get. Being willing to implement the reforms they demand. And more vocal communists have called for an immediate referendum, etc., etc., etc. We are going to go with the referendum because we'd rather have that than a bloody revolt. Okay, so we are now the People's Republic of Poland, I guess. So I believe we can send some volunteers to the Spanish Civil War. And that is what we're going to do as soon as we get a 5 divisions set up to do so. Okay, so we've now got a few divisions that we can send to help out in Spain, in Republican Spain. So let's send those volunteers of this division. Oh, we can only send 2. Okay, that's kind of sucks, but okay, well, we will sign these guys back here and take 1 out of these guys, and then we'll send 2. I guess it's better than nothing, but whatever. Send volunteers, these 2, and they will arrive in a month's time. Hopefully the Republicans can survive until then. For national focus, we're going to go construction effort 2, because that's effort. We really need to improve our construction efforts, because we only have 4 civilian factories available to work for us right now. Looks like air superiority is almost done. Okay, with the air superiority research done, we're going to do mechanical computing to improve our research speed slightly. So SITREP at the moment, we do have our volunteer troops, 2 divisions being sent to Republican Spain to fight against the nationalists. We have now established the People's Republic of Poland, and we don't really have any more divisions than we did last time. So things are looking pretty decent right now. We have our manpower is pretty good at the moment. We don't need to do anything there, but our production is lacking, and we could really use some more production, but that relies completely on getting these civilian factories done, which will take quite some time with only 4 available civilian factories working on those factories. So, I don't know, this is going to be a tough one, because the production capacity of Poland is pretty lacking. Okay, our volunteer divisions have made it to Spain, so where are they going to be best employed? trying to take back Madrid may be a good idea. So let's set up our front line right here. And we'll take it from there. We just have to be really careful not to get them encircled, because only 2 divisions, that's not a whole lot of divisions. You know, I actually feel a bit nervous about having them there, because it would be easy for the nationalists to cut them off from the rest of the Republican forces. So I think I'm going to move my front line from here to... First, we're going to work on taking out this little pocket right here, and that'll eliminate a few, 1 or 2 divisions of the Republican forces for good, because they're cut off, and then we can focus on moving up towards Madrid. So let's get them here. One question that I have for you guys, and it's a problem I've been having, is for the division orders or the army orders, I can set up a front line, I can assign them to that front line, but whenever I try and set up an offensive line, whenever I assign those divisions to that offensive line, they never do anything about it. They never go after it. Is there something I'm missing? Is it a bug? Because never has my attempt on assigning divisions to an offensive line actually worked. They just stay at the front line and they don't do anything about it, which frustrates me, because that whole idea of being able to set up offensive lines and stuff I think is really cool. It would be really nice if it worked, but it doesn't really seem to work. So I'll give you an example about what I mean. I'm going to select the offensive line, and we're going to make an offensive line going just through here. I'll start out short to the outskirts of Madrid. Now we'll take these 2 divisions and we will assign them to that offensive line. I'm doing that by hitting the control and click, which says to assign selected units as order. So they are now selected on that order, and they aren't doing anything. I'm going to speed it up a little while to give it some time, and they still aren't doing anything. Still aren't doing anything. Okay, it's like a day later now. They're still not doing anything. I'm going to select the aggressively execute battle plan, see if that does anything, but it's still not doing anything. They're still just staying there at the front line and not doing anything. So I fast forward to another day later and they still aren't doing anything. So I'm just going to have to manually get them to engage those troops like that. And that's really frustrating me. I'd really like it if they would actually follow their orders, you know. It seems to work for when you assign them to the front line, but when you assign them to an offensive order, they just don't do anything. Anyways, let's see how this battle is going. It seems to be going pretty well. We're facing off against nationalist Spanish troops. They're using shock tactic, which we have countered, and we are using an ambush tactic. We've got 2 infantry divisions up against 1 of their infantry divisions. We also have some infantry divisions in reserve. Oh, those are our infantry divisions. So in the attack, we've got 1 division of the Republican Spanish infantry, 1 division of our infantry, and then our other infantry in reserve. Looks like tactics have changed. They're taking on an assault tactic while we are doing a close quarters local strong point. Back at home, nothing much is happening. We're researching mechanical computing, motorized divisions, and mobile warfare while on a construction effort to focus. We've got some new divisions on the way, a few armored divisions along with a whole bunch of infantry divisions, which are slowly building up in strength and materials and training. Production's still the same. Construction is more or less still looking like it's the same. Let's just take a quick look at our relations to the Soviets. Let's form a non-aggression pact with them, because I'd rather not aggress against the big bear. I think we'll leave it like that for now. Let's see what France... Let's see... Let's boost the communists in France. We do have enough political power for something new. Let's go for maybe a military high command infantry expert. I think we'll do an infantry expert, which gives us some extra infantry attack and defense. We don't really have any armor at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. Let's do that for now and continue our... Oh, looks like we've successfully taken the objective we had given in Spain, so we're going to set up a new one. Let's set up our front line just on the outskirts of Madrid, and we'll assign our troops to that front line for now, and I'll set up a pointless offensive order going. Actually, rather than trying to take Madrid itself, I think what I'm going to do is attempt to encircle it by going around this way and then through here like so. So I am once again going to attempt to pointlessly try and assign them to this offensive order, which I know they likely won't even do anything about. Okay, it looks like the Italians have sent some volunteer forces into Spain, and they are currently attacking one of our divisions just to the east of Madrid, and it does look like they're winning. So I think we're going to pull our troops. Actually, let's send our other infantry and division to see if they can't help. Alright, thankfully it does look like we're winning this engagement now. Battle will last about another 12 days. And hopefully we'll come out on top. Back at home. Yeah, nothing's really happened there right now. So I think at this point I'm going to ask to join the Comintern faction. Done. Well, at least now we're safe from being invaded by the Soviet Union and Germany. We'll just be invaded by Germany, most likely. Things are going very well against the what are now German volunteers in Spain. This battle right here, they're using a close quarters attack while we are using a close quarters defense. We've got 4 divisions versus their 2. They have 0 in reserve. We have 2 divisions in reserve, which is quite nice. So it does look like we'll come out on top in this engagement, after which we'll begin making our way into Madrid, and hopefully we can take back the Republican capital. Well, I guess the Republican capital is now Barcelona, but getting Madrid's also a handy-dandy thing, I suppose. Our Air Force is slowly but surely being upgraded to our newer type of fighters, replacing these interwar biplanes. Actually, I don't think they're biplanes. I think they're just mono wings, except the wings are towards the top of the fuselage rather than at the bottom. But still, they're slowly being replaced. We got 4 of the newer fighters now in that airfield. Still got, yeah, slowly but surely our Air Force is being strengthened. I really can't wait till we can get some armored divisions up and running, though. We have 0 at the moment, but we don't have much production facilities at the moment. Okay, so we've won that engagement with the German troops. We are now going to set a new offensive line just along the outskirts of Madrid towards this airfield right here, and we will pointlessly assign our troops to that order, which they're not going to follow, inevitably making me just do it manually. Okay, since it looks like the Spanish troops have done what I was planning on doing, we're going to make our offensive movement go to surround Madrid. And we are going to begin by moving one of our divisions into this sector. And then once we have this sector under our control, then these 4 divisions of German volunteers will be cut off. Alright, so worldwide sitrep. Germany is still growing. They've in the last game reoccupied the Rhineland, but they haven't annexed Austria or Czechoslovakia yet. France is... we are attempting to boost our faction's popularity there. We have become the Polish People's Republic and have aligned ourselves with the Soviets to the east, and our volunteer divisions in the Spanish Civil War seem to have turned the tide of the war for the better. We're beginning to push them back to the western side of Spain, to the border of Portugal. Our divisions have managed to push to the outskirts of Madrid and are attempting to encircle these 4 German volunteer divisions in Madrid. As for our production, our emphasis is on infantry equipment at the moment, with second place being support equipment, also trying to produce more tanks and more fighter aircraft to replace our obsolete aircraft. I think what I'm going to do for now is switch the support to 2 factories, and we will increase... I want to get more armored, so let's decrease infantry so we can get a bit more armored, so we get those armored divisions, at least the first few armored divisions done, and then we can put emphasis back on infantry equipment and support equipment. If you look at our recruitment and deployment, we're getting there. We're about halfway there in materials and training for our new infantry divisions, and we're about halfway there for our first armored division. Our research, currently we're researching mechanical computing, the motorized divisions, and mobile warfare, which is almost done. As for our national focus, we are doing construction effort 2, so hopefully we can improve our ability to construct new factories, because right now we only have a measly 4 civilian factories which are contributing to constructing these new factories. So I really hope that we can get some of these new civilian factories done by the next episode. So now in Spain, I think I'm going to use my 2 divisions to move south and secure this territory before we move north to cut off the German volunteers in Madrid. Because I don't want it to just be a thin encircling maneuver. I want to have so they have less chance of being able to break through back to their lines and escape. So I think I'm going to take this territory that we're fighting for right now, this one where the 2 Spanish divisions are in, and this one with the factory and the at least 1 Spanish nationalist division. And then we'll move in behind Madrid and cut off the Germans. The Germans. Cut off the Germans. As for the offensive maneuver we're currently taking right now, we are attacking, and they are doing a basic frontal attack while they do a basic defense or whatever. We've got 2 infantry divisions attacking their 1 infantry division, which seems to be at 50% strength. I'm getting a bit worried about my divisions getting cut off, though, because if these guys who are isolated push north, then I could get isolated. And mobile warfare is complete. So let's do... Next, we really should continue focusing on our industrial effort. I think what we're going to do is concentrated industry 2. That way we'll get some more production going, and hopefully these divisions will be armed sooner. Now, it looks like some Italian volunteers are doing a bridge siege, trying to capture this territory, which could cut off my troops. I might pull my 2 divisions back. Okay, so I didn't have to move those divisions back. We've managed to take this territory, and we're now focusing on an attack from a German volunteer force of 1 infantry division. They're doing close quarters attack, we're doing close quarters defense. And things look like to be going in our favor. Now, overall, I want to continue my maneuver to try and cut off Madrid and encircle it. Okay, construction effort 2 just finished, so our next national focus is going to be army experience +5, mechanical, maybe we'll do, although we're not researching any air doctrine at the moment, but armament effort 2 plus 1 building. What we'll do is armament effort 2 for now. How is our recruitment going? Pretty well. Things are getting there. Oh, the Hindenburg disaster. A German passenger airship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States. For reasons not yet determined, the airship was engulfed in flames and crashed to the ground, claiming 33 lives. Or 35. You know, I'm surprised it was only 35. I was surprised. I always thought everybody on the Hindenburg died. I need to, you know, form my words properly. I always thought everybody on the Hindenburg died, but the fact that people survived that's pretty impressive. Due to the scarcity and expense of helium and the U.S. ban on exporting it, the Hindenburg, like all German passenger airships, was ultimately engineered to use hydrogen, which provides greater lift, but goes boom. With public faith shaken by the disaster and the rise of much faster passenger aircraft, this could spell the end of the era of the airships. Oh, the humanity. So I think that's where I'm going to end this video for today. Sit up, and what will happen, we have aligned ourselves to powers to the east. We have become the Polish People's Republic. We are currently feverishly recruiting and deploying new divisions as quickly as possible with new armored divisions and new infantry divisions. In Spain, Polish volunteers are fighting bravely against the nationalist fascist not Republicans. Man, it's funny how when I talk about fascist and nationalism, I automatically want to think Republican. The Spanish bad guys are fighting bravely against while defending the great Spanish Republican People's Army, turning the tide in the Spanish Civil War. Elsewhere, not much has happened. The Hindenburg has crashed. I'm sure some other stuff has happened. So until the next episode of Oh God, I'm Poland, have a good one.